What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be into my Week 24 NBA Power Rankings. This Power Rankings might be my final one here of the year. I think I'll maybe do one next week, but it might be my final one. We'll have to see. But anyway, let's get into the rankings. And at this point, I've done it the past few times, but I'm not even going to explain what these teams did here. Number 30, we got Detroit. Number 29, we got Houston. Number 28, we got San Antonio. And then number 27, we got the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I've done this the past couple times here. You guys know this. There's no need to explain. These teams are just straight up bad. As the tier says, all these teams stand at the same spot, no movement here. And that is the bad tier. And then we get into the mid-tier, a new tier that I've had in the past couple times to be a little bit more respectable for the teams that I think are pretty much not going to make the playoffs at this point. And really, they would need a miracle. But they're not bad teams. Number 26, we have the Orlando Magic. Staying at the same spot. I mean, again, it's kind of the same with the Magic. They go 1-1. I don't really need to explain this team more than I have. I mean, they're literally in this weird spot here where they're not one of these tanking bad teams, but they got young talent, they got a bright future, but they're not really ready this season. Moving on to number 25, we got the Portland Trailblazers. And the Trailblazers, they have completely fallen off. They go 0-3 this week. And, it's done for Portland. It looks like they're tanking here and trying to help out Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's in his prime right now. The Trailblazers need to do a better job here of building around him and not wasting his prime because he obviously signed that big extension with them. So we'll see what they can do with that. And then number 24, we got the Indiana Pacers also staying here at the same spot, but are going to fall here to this mid-tier. And the Pacers this week go 0-2. At this point, they're like only half a game up on the Magic, and I've had the Magic out of this in the hunt tier basically all season. Yeah, I mean, the Pacers aren't making the play-in at this point, guys. Let's be honest. They have a very young team. They got a bright future. Just like basically I think all three of these teams, maybe the Trailblazers are a little bit more iffy, but all three of these teams, I think, are going to have a bright future. It's just not – the Pacers aren't ready for that. All right, and then into the In the Hunt tier now. Starting at number 23, staying at the same spot, we have the Washington Wizards. And the Wizards are only a game and a half up on these guys. The Eastern Conference is really starting to stretch out. There could be a time where we don't see the Wizards in this tier. But for the potentially the final tier list here, the Wizards are going to be on it here. They're going to be 34-42 here. They're only 2 games back in the Bulls, so there's still a chance. We've seen the Bulls lose a lot of games in a row. They could just get very cold to finish off the year. I mean, they are cold right now, it seems, but they could get very cold and they could just completely slide, and the Wizards could get hot. We've seen them get hot this season and slide into the play-in. We can see if all that happens. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not sure, but either way, the Wizards are going to come in at number 23. Number 22, staying in the same spot here, we have the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz this week go 1-4 this week. So a bad week for Utah, but it's not going to justify them coming down, I think, here. Utah, they were in a prime position to make the play-in right now. The West is still wide open for this team. If they can get a few wins, they do have a tough schedule, but they're only a game and a half back on the 10 seed right now. Could they be tanking? Maybe. I mean, they're resting Clarkson and Sexton right now. Lauri Markkanen's not fully healthy. It's interesting, to say the least, for the Jazz at the moment. But I do think that this team has a lot of talent, and they could be in the play-in at this point. I could see them get hot and slide in. But it is going to take a pretty long shot at this point, let's be real, for Utah and Washington to make the plan. And those are going to be, well, we're going to have another team in here, but dropping down 3 spots here, we got the Chicago Bulls at number 21 in this play-in tournament here. The Bulls this week go 1-2. So, I mean, not a bad week. I just had a couple teams that I think are better than them that deserve to come up above them. I mean, the Bulls, we know this team has some talent. They got stars on their roster. On paper, this team should be solid, but they're not solid. Let's be straight up. This team is not good. I mean, they're very inconsistent, which makes them a little bit scary in the plan. I mean, if this team can get red hot, you don't want to play this team. But then again, I mean, this team could easily get swept in the first round. It's just a weird team right now. They're going to be dropping down 3 spots. I think that 21's a good spot for them here. And then jumping up a spot here at number 20, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. There they are. And yeah, the Thunder are going to be in the hunt tier here because of the fact that the West is so good right now. But the Thunder this week go 2-1. So good week for OKC. Got above a 500 record. That's what you like to see if you're the Thunder. But yeah, OKC, I mean, this team has a lot of talent, a lot of young talent on their roster. It would be nice for them to make the play-in tournament, obviously, get that experience. But it's not the end of the world. We know this team has a bunch of draft picks. They got that Gonzaga center guy that I forgot his name, Holmgren, Chet something. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be coming back. Hopefully, he can put on some weight for this team, and the rest of it can take care of itself for Oklahoma City. We'll see how this team works out in the future, but right now they're trying to make the play-in, and they're in it right now. But like I said last time, I still don't believe this team is one of the 10 best teams in the West, and they're going to be number 20. Okay, that is it with the in the hunt here. Only 3 teams going to the play-in. Number 19, dropping down 2 spots here, we have the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks this week go 1-2. So yeah, Mavericks. I mean, it's just been such a wonky year for Dallas. Let's be honest. I mean, this team was really good, and then they trade for Kyrie Irving, and they become really bad, and that's just been it. I mean, they're out of the play-in tournament right now. I do think that they're slightly better than the Thunder, but I can't say anything to Mavericks fans at this point that they're going to make it in. So yeah, I think that the Mavericks are one of the 10 best teams in the West. Will they make it in, though? That's the question. I'm not entirely sure. And right now, they're going to be dropping down 2 spots. Just like I said, though, the West is wide open. They're only a game back on the Thunder. They still have time. They still have a full week of games. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. And then jumping up 2 spots here, we have the Toronto Raptors at 38-38. The Raptors this week go 2-0, so solid week for Toronto. We know this team. This is the same old Raptors team. It's just basically a 500 team. I mean, that's literally the definition of the Raptors over the past few years, a 500, maybe a little bit above it team. Moving on to number 17, jumping up 2 spots here, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Very similar to the Raptors, I think, here, without Katie and Kyrie, of course. The Nets this week go 1-1. So taking advantage of the Mavs and the Bulls falling here. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Nets, they still have a good, solid unit on this team, even without the superstars. And that's really what I've been saying for the past few times. For the Nets, it's close between the Raptors and the Nets, but I'm going to give it to the Nets because they have that very solid record. And so the Brooklyn Nets going to be jumping up to 2-17. jumping up 2 to 17. And then we got number 16, staying at the same spot, the New Orleans Pelicans. Still waiting on Zion to come back, I believe. The Pelicans go 3-1 though this week, so really freaking good week for New Orleans. But I mean, yeah, still some questions to when will Zion come back? That's one of the bigger ones. Does this team have what it takes? And it's a good roster. I've been saying this for the past few times. I mean, if when Zion comes back, we've seen how good this team was when he was in. They were one of the best teams in the Western Conference. So you don't want to play the Pelicans with Zion. We'll see when he comes back. I'm honestly not entirely sure when he will, but they're going to come in at number 16. Then number 15, dropping down a spot here, we have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks this week are 1-1. It's not a bad week for Atlanta by any means. Only 2 games. I mean, these teams haven't played too much this week here. As it's been like, it was the Saturday night when I made my video, so the last Power Rankings video. So here is the Hawks dropping down a spot here. Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, I mean, it's still the same old Hawks team, I think. DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, they got a good, solid team there, but I don't think that's enough to win them games. And it's tough to win games in the NBA. They don't have a really good supporting cast around them. They really need to build that up. And they're a very inconsistent team. We'll see what happens with the Atlanta Hawks if they can rebound here. And then number 14, dropping down a spot, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The T-Wolves this week go 2-1. So, yeah, I mean, Minnesota, Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns have done a pretty solid job over the past couple of weeks here. They're playing well. And, yeah, Minnesota, ever since Karl-Anthony Towns comes back, I mean, this team's good. I just think that one other team deserves to come ahead of them. That's why the Timberwolves are dropping down here, though. And that's where Minnesota's going to come in at number 14. And then the team jumping ahead of them up 2 spots here, number 13, we got the LA Lakers. And obviously this is because of LeBron James coming back. I mean, you've got to have LeBron James over the Timberwolves. I mean, the LeBron James and the Lakers over Minnesota, I think, if he's back, and he is. And obviously Anthony Davis, LeBron James, like, who's going to want to meet this team in the postseason? I don't think anyone. This is the same team. Well, not the same, but these are the same 2 starting players, LeBron and AD, that won a championship in 2020. Obviously, the Lakers don't want to, teams don't want to play LeBron in the playoffs with all of his success. But at number 13 is a good spot, I think, for LA, jumping at 2 spots. Then number 12, dropping down 2 here, we have the Miami Heat. And the Heat not going to get into the contenders tier here, going 0-2 this week. Not a good week. Miami, just kind of a wonky team here. We know that this team, it's kind of been off and on the past couple of years, past like 4 years. This team was one of the best teams in the league. Then they regress and be like a 7-6 seed, I don't remember. And then they go up again and are one of the best teams in the East. And then again, they are back here just like a couple of years ago as like a 6 seed right now. And that's really what the Heat are at this point. We'll see if they can rebound here. But that's where the Heat are going to come in at number 12. Obviously, just like the Lakers, you don't want to play Jimmy Butler in this Heat unit in the playoffs. They obviously have experience. They know how to win in the playoffs. And we'll see if they're going to have enough in it. And then number 11 here, staying at the same spot, we got the New York Knicks. The Knicks this week go 2-0. So solid week for New York. Same old Knicks team, though. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, very good team. They played excellent this season. And now it just comes down to executing in the postseason, see if this team can surprise a lot of people and go on a run. And a very similar team, number 10, dropping down a spot, we have the Sacramento Kings. Congratulations, Sacramento, clinching their first playoff spot since like 2006 or something crazy like that. That was they snapped like the biggest since the Mariners and MLB snapped like a 20 postseason drought. The Kings were the upcoming postseason drought team, and they snapped that like all in all sports here. I'm not entirely sure who the next postseason team is. Would have to research that, but I'm not sure. But the Kings, congratulations. That's got to feel great for them to make the the playoffs after all this time. And, Domantas Sabonis, this is a scary Kings team. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, this is a very good team. It's a lot of chemistry with this team. And I don't think you want to play the Kings in the playoffs now. Do I think this team is a contender? No, I don't. And that's why they're not going to be in that tier. But they're going to be at number 10, I think, dropping down a spot. All right, so now we got the contenders tier, a big contender tier here. Let's get into it. Starting out with number 9, dropping down a spot. We have the LA Clippers. The Clippers this week go 2-1, so solid week for LA. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, obviously that's why they're in the contenders tier. Scary team. Kawhi Leonard knows what he's doing in the playoffs. He's won a couple championships before. To win a third one with the team, that's what his goal is at this point, to win one with the Clippers. Can he get it done? We will have to see. But the LA Clippers, I think, are at number 9. It was close between the next team at number 8, and that's going to be the Golden State Warriors. It's a close ranking here, I think. But I am giving it to the Warriors, I think, because this team I trust more in the playoffs here. We obviously know this team won a championship a couple of years ago. You look at the Clippers, this team obviously made the Western Conference Finals a couple of years ago, but last year wasn't there. They haven't won a championship. I trust Stephen Curry and this team a little bit more than I do LA to win one. But, obviously, it's tight between these two, and the Warriors are going to be coming in at number 8, going to be dropping down a spot here. And obviously the Golden State Warriors, you don't want to play Golden State in the playoffs no matter what injuries they have, unless it's Stephen Curry. All right, going to number 7, dropping down a spot here, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies this week go 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. Memphis, the Ja Morant situation's kind of died down. He's still playing at a high level right now. And, this is the ranking with Ja Morant right now. This is where I think the Grizzlies are. Really good team with him. Is it enough to go on a run in the championship as a contender? I think it is. They obviously got a lot of pieces around Ja. This team made it last year as a 2 seed. Let's see if they can take this step next season in a very solid Western Conference in the playoffs. Going to number 6, dropping down a spot, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs this week go 1-2, I believe, or maybe even 1 I think 1-2. That's what the Cavs win. But obviously, Donovan Mitchell and this Cleveland Cavaliers team is really freaking good. Obviously, an excellent unit on that team. Basically, the same thing I've been saying all year about Cleveland. Explosive team here, and they're gonna be a deadly team in the postseason, especially with Donovan Mitchell is on fire like he has been all season. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, I do think, are 6. Number 5, dropping down a spot, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers this week go 1-2. So Philly that week shot their chances of maybe getting up to the 2 seed or even the 1. They're not getting up to the 1 seed at this point. Could maybe still get to the 2 seed. Joel Embiid and this 76ers team is scary. We all know this. This team is freaking good and a deadly team, as they always are with James Harden as well. And basically the same thing I've been saying. Like, I've said this about a few of these teams here. My opinion really hasn't changed on Philadelphia right now. And then number 3 here, number 4, we have the Phoenix Suns jumping up 8 spots, and this is because of the return of Kevin Durant, and this is where I had Phoenix when KD, before KD's injury. And we've seen what the Suns can do with him in. I mean, they went 3-0 this week, undefeated. I mean, this Suns team with Kevin Durant, you got to give Kevin Durant the respect he deserves. He is just a phenomenal player, and he just completely is taking this team to the next level. Devin Booker couldn't do it. Chris Paul couldn't do it. It had to be Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant, I think, is going to lead this. This team is very scary in the playoffs. I mean, this team might even end up being like a 6 seed, and they are the number 4 in my power rankings. That's how big of an impact I think KD is going to make, and that's where they come in at number 4. Number 3, though, was debating bringing the Suns over the Nuggets, but I'm not going to do it. Nuggets just have been more of a proven team this season, and they're going to come in at 3, staying at the same spot here. Denver, obviously, Nikola Jokic having another MVP type year, and that's really all you have to say. This whole team, they've got a great surrounding cast around Nikola Jokic, but we all know it's the Nikola Jokic show in Denver, and that's how it has always been this season. Going to number 2, though, we got the Boston Celtics. And the Celtics find themselves at 53-24 here. 1-2 or 2-1 this week. Still trying to fight for the 1 seed, but right now Milwaukee kind of breaking away from it. Obviously, Boston was a 2 seed last year when made the championship game, so it's not all about that number 1 seed. But the Celtics obviously want that 1 line, and we'll see if they can continue to climb, and close the gap with Milwaukee. But Jason Tatum and the Celtics, I think, are going to come up just short, as I do think that the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA and have the best player in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's really all you have to say about Milwaukee. Their supporting cast around Giannis is really freaking good, and obviously Giannis, like I said, I think he's the best player in the whole league. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this Power Rankings video. Like I said, this might be my final one. I think I'll come up with one next Friday or next Saturday or something. But anyway, guys, peace.